Mold is not a vibe, it is a moisture problem. And the internet has made this topic way more terrifying than it needs to be. One corner of the internet says mold is harmless because it is natural. Another corner says every headache, bad mood, and weird Thursday is toxic mold poisoning. The truth is calmer and more useful. Indoor mold can be a real problem, especially for asthma, allergies, cough, wheeze, rhinitis, throat irritation, and respiratory symptoms. But the first move is usually not panic, detox kits, or trying to identify the species like we are auditioning for mold CSI. The first move is water. Mold spores are everywhere. No home is sterile. The goal is not to live in fear of spores. The goal is to stop feeding them. Mold needs moisture. If mold is growing indoors, the better question is not what kind of mold is it. The better question is why is this surface wet, and how do we stop it from staying wet? That is the whole episode in one line. No moisture, no mold sequel. Now let's validate the concern first. Damp homes and moldy environments are linked with respiratory symptoms, asthma symptoms, wheezing, coughing, upper respiratory irritation, rhinitis, and allergy-type issues. People with asthma or mold allergy may react more strongly. People with chronic lung disease or immune compromise may have higher risk from certain mold exposures. So this is not imaginary. If your home smells musty and your nose, throat, lungs, or eyes get worse indoors and better when you leave, that is a real clue. This is where the evidence is strongest: lungs, nose, eyes, throat, asthma, allergies, cough, wheeze, and irritation. The boring respiratory stuff can still make life miserable. But now we need to deflate the panic. The phrase toxic black mold gets movie trailer music, but color is not a reliable safety system. Black mold is not automatically the only dangerous mold, and lighter mold is not automatically safe. The practical rule is simpler. If mold is growing indoors, remove it and fix the water source, regardless of the color. And broad claims like toxic mold syndrome are much less established than the respiratory and allergy evidence. That does not mean every person with symptoms is making it up. It means we should not jump from dampness to every vague symptom without a better investigation. The strongest plan is environmental first. Find water, fix water, dry materials, remove moldy materials when needed, control humidity, filter air as support, and get professional help when the situation is large, hidden, recurring, contaminated, or high risk. Before we buy a detox kit, we check under the sink. The sink is less exciting, but it has better odds. Now the mycotoxin conversation. Mycotoxins are real compounds produced by some fungi. But the best established concern is often contaminated food, not a simple explanation for every symptom in a damp building. Urine mycotoxin tests are especially tricky. A result does not automatically prove your house is poisoning you. It can reflect diet, background exposure, and testing that may not have validated disease thresholds. So if someone is scared because of a urine test, the next step should not be panic. The next step is a grounded home assessment and medical care when symptoms deserve it. Testing should answer a decision question. If it does not change what we do next, it may just become an expensive anxiety generator. Now let's build the home checklist. Step 1. Look for water first. Check under sinks, around toilets, behind the washing machine, around the refrigerator water line, the water heater pan, the AC air handler, the AC drain line, windows, exterior doors, roof stains, attic penetrations, baseboards near exterior walls, closets against exterior walls, tubs, showers, carpet near sliding doors, and HVAC vents with condensation. If you smell must, investigate moisture. Musty odor matters because it can mean the problem is connected to the air you breathe. It may be hidden behind a wall, under flooring, inside a cabinet, or in a damp closet. Step 2. Measure humidity. A cheap hygrometer is one of the least glamorous health tools in the home. It does not go viral. It does not glow. It just tells the truth. A good practical target is keeping indoor relative humidity around 30 to 50% when possible, and avoiding sustained humidity above 60%. In many homes, especially humid climates, 40 to 50% is a realistic comfort zone. But humidity in the room is not the whole story. Mold grows on surfaces. A room can read 50% while a cold wall behind furniture has condensation and grows mold quietly like it pays rent. Your hygrometer is the speedometer. It does not tell you everything, but it tells you when you are driving into mold weather. Step 3. Dry fast after leaks or floods. The 24 to 48 hour window is where boring speed wins. Fast drying is prevention, slow drying becomes remediation. Stop the water source, remove standing water, move wet items away from walls, pull up soaked carpet or padding if needed, use dehumidifiers, document damage with photos. And be careful with fans. Fans can help dry clean wet materials, but if mold or contaminated water is already involved, careless airflow can spread particles. Step 4. Understand HEPA and dehumidifiers. A HEPA purifier is a seatbelt, not a mechanic. It can reduce airborne particles while you fix the source, but it cannot repair a leak inside a wall. HEPA can help lower airborne particles and spores. A dehumidifier can reduce moisture pressure. But leak repair fixes the cause, and removal or remediation handles the reservoir. So the strategy is not purifier or dehumidifier or repair. It is often all three in the right order. Also avoid ozone-generating air cleaners. Ozone is a lung irritant, and irritating the lungs is a bold choice when the original problem is already respiratory irritation. Step 5. Know when cleanup is simple and when it is not. For a small mold area on a hard surface, roughly less than 10 square feet, many people can clean it themselves if there is no major water damage, sewage, HVAC contamination, or health risk concern. Hard surface, clean and dry. Porous and moldy, it may need to leave the chat. Mold can grow into porous materials like ceiling tiles, carpet, padding, insulation, and drywall. If it is embedded, scrubbing the surface may not be enough. Do not paint over mold. That is not remediation. That is giving the mold a little jacket. And bleach is not the hero of every story. Sometimes bleach is used on hard surfaces, but routine biocide obsession misses the point. Moisture control and physical removal matter more. Bleach can make us feel like we did something. Moisture control is what keeps the sequel from coming out. Step 6. Know when to call professionals. Get professional help if the mold covers more than about 10 square feet, there has been major water damage, sewage or contaminated water is involved. HVAC may be contaminated. Hidden mold is suspected. The musty smell keeps returning. Mold returns after cleaning, or someone in the home has asthma, chronic lung disease, immune compromise, severe symptoms, or health concerns before cleanup. Also consider professional help if you are renting, dealing with insurance, or need documentation. Mold problems are not just science problems. Sometimes they are landlord, building, roof, plumbing, and paperwork problems wearing a mustache. Step 7. Protect yourself during cleanup. For small cleanups, use gloves, goggles, and a properly fitted N95 respirator. Avoid breathing moldy dust. Avoid getting spores in your eyes. Do not mix bleach with ammonia or other cleaners. And if cleanup makes symptoms worse, stop and reassess. The goal is not to prove toughness in a bathroom with spores. Now here is the calm mold checklist. Find the water, measure humidity, fix leaks, dry wet materials within 24 to 48 hours, remove moldy porous materials when needed, clean small hard surface areas safely, use HEPA filtration as support, use dehumidification when humidity is high, avoid ozone devices, call pros for large, hidden, recurring, HVAC, sewage, or high-risk cases. That is the boring plan. And boring is exactly why it works. The final takeaway is simple. Mold is real, but panic is not the protocol. The evidence is strongest for dampness and mold contributing to respiratory and allergic problems. The first-line solution is environmental, moisture control, cleanup, removal, drying, filtration, and prevention. The goal is not a sterile home. The goal is a dry home. If this gave you a calmer plan, tap like, subscribe to Longevity Compass, and check the description for our Amazon KDP book and home tools like humidity monitors, HEPA filters, dehumidifiers, leak sensors, and clean up safety gear. Because the goal is not to live in fear of spores. The goal is to stop feeding them,